Hello and welcome to Kickoff Commentary, and it is day 2 of our 32-day series, 32 teams in 32 days, and today we'll be sticking in the NFC East and talking about the Washington Redskins. Last season, the Redskins finished 7-9 after a 6-2 start due to a gruesome injury to the leg of quarterback Alex Smith. The team sent Mark Sanchez, Colt McCoy, Josh Johnson. I'm pretty sure even I took a couple snaps out there for them at quarterback, but it wasn't enough to keep the team on track enough for a playoff appearance. The Redskins, as much as it annoyed me, had a really good draft in my opinion. Dwayne Haskins was the second best quarterback on the board, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Bit of a spoiler there. Montez Sweat was a steal with the 26th overall pick. Bryce Love and Ross, I believe it is pronounced Piercer Bosher, were excellent pickups, and getting Kelvin Harmon in the 6th was a steal as well. Overall, a good draft. Washington seemed to have a pretty good offseason right up until recently, when franchise talent left tackle Trent Williams has begun a holdout and seems dead set on never playing another snap for the team due to issues with the medical staff. If what he says is true, and I see no reason why I shouldn't believe him, then yeah, he has a good enough reason to never want to play for them again. And that's going to do a lot of damage, in my opinion, to how good this team could have been, simply because of how talented Williams was. Losing a player of that quality at left tackle hurts a team badly. Go look at the Cowboys in 2017 when they didn't have Tyron Smith against Atlanta. They gave up 6 sacks to one guy, and it messed up Dak Prescott for the rest of the season and a little bit into the next one. I can't imagine it's going to be easy for whatever quarterback they send out there to not have a guy like Trent guarding their left end. With all of that being said, let's get into the record predictions. In Week 1, the Washington Redskins will be traveling to Philadelphia to play against the Eagles, and if you were listening yesterday, you know I predicted that would be a loss for the Redskins. I just think Philadelphia is the better team. I find that to be a hard game to think that they'll end up winning. Week 2, they are at home against the Dallas Cowboys, and I'll predict that to be a win for the Cowboys. Again, much like Philadelphia, I think Dallas is a better team. Week 3 against the Chicago Bears, I'm sorry Redskins fans, but I think they're 0-3. That is one of the worst schedules to start a season for a team, on the road against Philly, and then your first 2 home games are against 2 playoff teams from last season. And I don't see either Dallas or Chicago dropping off enough for Washington to beat them 0-3. They will get their first win of the season, however, in Week 4 against the New York Giants. I think that's a pretty easy bet there. Washington's roster is not top level, but it's certainly a lot better than whatever New York is trotting out there, so they'll get to 1-3. Then they'll follow the 1-4 against the Patriots. I don't think that one requires a ton of explanation. New England is a great football team. Will be until otherwise, and I find that to be a hard game for them to win. They pick up another win, though, I think, against the Miami Dolphins in Miami, because I don't think Miami is any good. Pretty simple explanation on that one. After this, the Redskins take on the San Francisco 49ers in a game that I think truly could be a toss-up. I think San Francisco is primed to have a much better season, however, they'll be coming off a game against the Rams that I don't know will be easy for them. Meanwhile, the Redskins are coming off a win, I think, in Miami. It's going to be a close game, but I think I'm going to have to predict that the Redskins will beat the 49ers at home in week number 7. After this, they travel to US Bank Stadium to take on the Vikings, and I think I predict that this will be a victory for Kirk Cousins and a bit of a revenge game against the team that scorned him. After this, Washington travels up to Buffalo and New Era Field, and I feel like those back-to-back road games are going to hurt them, and that could be a loss for them as well. After heading into their bye week at 3-6, I predict Washington will take a loss against the Jets and the Lions back-to-back there, 2 teams that I think are more on the rise than the Redskins, who are trying. It could be a toss-up on those games too. The Redskins' schedule is pretty hard to predict for me this year because of so many teams that I think are a lot closer. After that, I again don't know that they're better than Carolina, but I will go against the grain here and say the Panthers lose this one at home. Carolina's a team that you can never really grade, and Washington is a team I feel like the same way that is going to win some games we don't expect this season, and I think this one isn't that surprises them. I think they do defeat the Carolina Panthers in Week 13. After this, they travel to Lambeau Field in Green Bay. I'm going to pick the Packers there. It's just they're the better team, I feel like, quite simply. Home game against the Eagles. Philadelphia is better. Philadelphia beats them there. They get the Giants at home. They're going to beat the Giants. I don't see a lot of teams the Giants are going to be able to beat this season. They travel to AT&T Stadium to play the Cowboys in Week 17, which I predict will be a loss for the Redskins once again. Which rounds out my final prediction for the Redskins season at 5-11. Now, there were a lot of toss-up games on that schedule. They could lose to San Francisco. They could beat Minnesota or Buffalo. They could beat the Jets or the Lions. They could certainly lose to the Panthers. Depending on how Green Bay does, if it all falls apart, they could probably lose that game. And Philly, Dallas, those are division games. Those are always in question in the NFC, but I just am going to go with the talent in those 2 matchups. So their ceiling certainly is a bit higher than I've said it here, but this is just where I think realistically if every team they play against plays pretty close to their potential, just because I don't think Washington without Trent Williams is a team that's going to be a threat this year. But let me know what you guys think. This has been day 2 of the 32 teams, 32 day series. I hope you guys are enjoying these as much as I am making them. This has been Kickoff Commentary. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section on these teams' records. I want to get your input. How far off am I? Am I really close? What's up? This has been Kickoff Commentary. Have a great day.